fear.
What is toxic fear exactly?
Well,
I like that.
Toxic fear is about all the phobias. It's free-floating anxiety. It's a sense that I don't know what I'm afraid of, but I just know that I'm afraid. And that has to do with not identifying one's original fear, because we were told that we weren't allowed to have feelings in the first place. And so we denied our fears, we repressed them, we repressed all of our feelings, we repressed our anger. Anxiety attacks also have a lot to do with anger, repressed anger. So it's really okay to have all of our feelings, to make friends with them, to know them, to understand how they're looking to help us, to guide us. If we are not tuned into our emotions, then we're losing all of our entire radar system.
That's so powerful. I want to ask you a question, Carol. If you were talking to your daughter and she were telling you what you saw and observed in the man she was dating, what would you tell her?
Dump him immediately. Get rid of this person. Oh, you know, I think not just myself, but we're all so good at seeing it so clearly in someone else's relationship. Yes. And when it's happening to you, even though you kind of know it up here. Like for me, I knew from the very, very beginning that this was a mistake. This is a mistake, but I just moved forward anyway. And that internal struggle, I think, is what caused a lot of the physical illness. If my daughter came to me like that, absolutely, my advice to her would be, no, this is not a good person. If you have the doubt, there's a reason. You have to listen to yourself. If I had any message to give any other woman in a relationship like this, it would be, don't doubt yourself. When you hear it in your head and you're feeling it, you know, if it walks like a duck and it acts like a duck, it's a duck.
You know what? I keep hearing this all the time from so many people that I work with. The loneliness that is there before we meet, you know, a person. It's so hard to meet someone, you know, just to date, let alone to have a intimate relationship and marriage with. And the older we get, I feel the more difficult it is, the more, because we all have more wounds, and let's face it, there's just more women out there than there are men. And I know the guys that are watching are not going to like this, but I think the women are emotionally healthier than the men. Because I just think that's the way it is. So with all that in mind, and you're in a lonely place and you meet someone who is filling you on some levels, how do you protect yourself? I mean, because you know now you'd never do it again. It's not worth losing your life, your health, and so how do we heal from the emptiness, from the hole that's inside of us and the fear of being alone?
Well, firstly, I would distinguish loneliness from solitude. And it really is a magic and, Marla. It is the admission that I need people. As I said earlier, even adults have dependency needs. We need people. The and part is that, and I can take care of myself as well. That I don't need someone to make me alive. I am alive with myself. I have my own purpose. I have my own interests. I'm a separate individual. I have my own friends. And I can find a man in my life who enhances my life. And I won't settle. If I really know that I can live without a male partner or a romantic partner, then I don't have to settle. It's when I feel that I am nothing without someone else that I look to fuse and I look to accept anybody, because I think that they're better than me and I can't survive without them. So I knew that I was really healthy when I became fully healthy, when I was able to really relish my own solitude. That was the chief difference for me, when I enjoyed my own company.
How did you get there? I mean, I know a lot of friends and support groups, right? That's a start.
Oh yeah, friends, support groups, therapy. I mean, I became a psychotherapist. My psychotherapist, when I was 20 years old, saved my life. She just saved my psychic life. She saved my soul life. She helped me recognize that I had rich inner resources, and that the road to personhood, I think especially for a female, is a rocky one. It is a rocky one because society mitigates against women being full adults. we are somehow taught that it's okay to be half adults. It's okay to be taken care of, and yet so many people disappoint us. So I recognize that only I could do it. I didn't have to do it alone, though.
Right, that's a key. We don't have a lot of time, but I wanted to ask you something. Right before this man came in your life, what was going on in your life? Were you at a weak down point?
You know, I wish I could say I was.
No, I mean,
I wasn't. I was married to someone else. We both were. You know, I had a good job. I had lots of friends. I was,
You met him when you were married to someone else?
Yes.
You started the relationship when you...
We both did.
Well, that's not a good place
That's
to
not
start.
a great place to start. Yeah, it was a rocky road to begin
that
with.
Means your head is kind of chaotic, and you're
Yes, it was a very chaotic beginning.
feeling guilty, and
Right,
the
it was a
whole
very chaotic
hiding and
beginning.
all that stuff. So
Yeah.
it wasn't like you were in a weak place, but you certainly weren't coming from a strong place.
No, no.
You know, a place of, well, I guess what I'm trying to say is a place where you felt really good about yourself. Because nobody, when they start a triangle and starts another relationship when they're in one, really feels whole. I mean,
You know, at that
focused,
point,
right?
no. It was orchestrated quite well, I have to say, from the other side, from his side. The whole thing was orchestrated from the beginning.
But you weren't at a strong, centered place.
No,
That's what
I
I'm
wasn't.
trying to say.
I wasn't in a strong
You
centered
weren't
place
the
at that point.
foundation.
Oh
Yeah.
no,
And
not
I
at that point.
I really
in time.
think that's important. I think that when we start a relationship, it's very important to have a sense of who we are. That's why I think it's really bad to jump from relationship to relationship, because even though you may have not had to grieve the other guy, you're still carrying all that in there.
Well,
There's,
you have a
know,
lot.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Yeah.
there's
It's
this-
been 2 years for me, and I really just started a relationship with someone else, and I took a lot of time to heal and get past it, and therapy, and to get back to what you were saying, and Dr. Duffy, the one way to do it, I think, is to totally be yourself, to survive in a new relationship. Don't give in to those whims or to try to change yourself for someone else. Just be with the person who lets you be yourself and who likes you for it.
Very important.
Being
we only
yourself.
have a couple of
Wonderful.
minutes to go. Anybody want to make sure we put something out there that's
Well,
very
I wanted
important?
to just say that in early romantic love, when there's more infatuation than anything else, nature gives us a lot of chemicals. And so we are really having sex with a stranger under heavy drug inducement.
That's
And,
so
you
true.
know,
That's so true. I know everything
Yes.
seems wonderful, and you're on this high.
And it's so
Yeah, it's
euphoric,
true.
and so you really were in kind of a drug trance, and that our own bodies produce those drugs, and that's what nature does to start the original bonding that we need to procreate as a species. Yet after the honeymoon stage is over, the courting is over, comes the power struggle, comes the disillusionment, and we want to be able to, as you say, Marla, know who we are and be centered.
Exactly.
Be centered as a self, so we can really pick and choose someone who is right for us, that we feel good in their presence. We feel good about ourselves, and we have our self-respect.
You know, and I always think about cliches like you fall in love. I always say, who wants to fall anywhere?
Yes.
Certainly not love. Well, I want to thank you so much, Dr. Duffy, Carol. This has been a wonderful show. I hope that it helps you. I hope that even if there's one person out there whose life is touched, if you're thinking about this, then we've done our job. And I wish all of you a wonderful week. God bless everybody. Thank you so much. Bye-bye now.